Imagine a land, sacred and soaked in centuries of history, where stories of hope and pain entwine like ancient roots under its soil. Welcome, dear listeners, to a tale of two entities, Israel and Hamas, and their interwoven destinies in a landscape that has witnessed both silent prayers and echoing conflicts. Our journey is not just through territories marked by borders, but through a complex saga where aspirations and survival have constantly danced on the edge of delicate balances. This is a story not to point fingers or take sides, but to understand the hows and whys of a timeline that has shaped the lives of millions. Let's walk through the pages of history together, exploring, understanding, and reflecting on the waves that have shaped the shores of Israel and Palestine. The birth of Israel. A declaration, a war-torn world, and a hope for a sanctuary such were the precursors to the birth of Israel. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, issued by the British government, expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then part of the Ottoman Empire. The ripples of this declaration were felt throughout the global Jewish community, providing a glimmer of hope amidst the despair. Fast forward to the tragic aftermath of World War I and the Holocaust, and the plight of the Jewish people was embedded in the global conscience. The United Nations, in 1947, proposed a partition plan, endeavoring to carve out a path for coexistence between Jewish and Arab populations. A path, however, fraught with resistance and contestation. And then, in the echoes of historical proclamation on May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel, a moment etched into the annals of history, offering a homeland to a people so long dispersed, yet sparking a flame that would ignite decades of conflict in a land sacred to many. The unfolding of these events sets the stage for a timeline punctuated with moments of hope, despair, conflict, and tentative peace. As we delve deeper into this history, we traverse the pathways through which the entities of Israel and Hamas have navigated their objectives, strategies, and struggles, ever entwined in a dance through time, where each step forward beckons reflections of the past and implications for the future. Early conflicts and tensions. A young Israel, now stepping onto the world stage, would find its infancy marred by conflict and opposition from neighboring Arab states. Imagine the year 1948, when the joy of establishing a homeland for a persecuted people swiftly collided with the stark reality of regional opposition. This was a time of turmoil and bloodshed, known as the Arab-Israeli War, where neighboring Arab nations, rejecting the partition and establishment of Israel, engaged in a bitter conflict that reverberated through the lives of both Jews and Palestinians alike. On another front, the Palestinian Exodus, or Nakba in Arabic, marked a poignant chapter, seeing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians leaving their homes amidst the tumult, a memory that lingers heavily in the collective consciousness to this day. Then, the Suez Crisis of 1956 unfolded, with Egypt nationalizing the Suez Canal, Britain, France, and Israel intervening, a tangle of geopolitical interests and assertions of sovereignty that further complicated the region's stability. Formation and rise of Hamas. In the kaleidoscope of Middle Eastern politics, a new player would emerge, shaping the trajectory of the Palestinian cause and becoming a pivotal actor in the unfolding drama. Enter Hamas. Formed in 1987 during the First Intifada, or Uprising, Hamas, an acronym for Harakat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyah, which translates to the Islamic Resistance Movement, came into being with an ideology that blended Palestinian nationalism with Islamic principles. But its roots were not merely militant. The organization offered social services, schools, and hospitals, gradually gaining popularity among Palestinians, while its armed wing launched attacks against Israeli military and civilian targets. Its political wing sought to establish itself as a legitimate representative of the Palestinian people's aspirations and struggles. Through this duality of purpose, offering care and resistance, Hamas embedded itself in the socio-political landscape of Palestine, becoming a significant counterpart and antagonist to Israel on the stage of history. Key conflicts and strategies. Strap in as we navigate through turbulent times where the aspirations of nations clashed, not just on the battlegrounds, but also in the hearts of the people whose lives were irrevocably altered by these conflicts. The year 1967 marked the Six-Day War, a brief yet profoundly impactful confrontation where Israel, against the odds, emerged victorious, altering the map of the Middle East and sowing seeds for future conflicts. A mere 6 years later, the Yom Kippur War of 1973 unfolded, a surprise attack against Israel by coalition forces led by Egypt and Syria, triggering international intervention and shaking the geopolitical dynamics of the region. And then there were the Intifadas, waves of Palestinian uprisings that voiced a vehement outcry against occupation, where stones met tanks and desperation met determination. Yet, this era was also marred by the horrifying surge of suicide bombings, shifting tactics in a desperate and dark dance of devastation, forever etching haunting memories into the souls of the afflicted. Peace process and roadblocks. But amidst the echoes of war drums, whispers of peace threaded through the despair, stitching together fragile hopes of harmony and coexistence. The Oslo Accords, an agreement signed in 1993 between Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, and Israel, presented a mirage of impending tranquility, where visions of two states existing side by side began to take form. However, the path was anything but smooth. The failed Camp David 2000 summit, meant to be a step towards resolution, crumbled under the weight of unmet expectations, leaving behind a trail of disillusionment and resentment. Israel's disengagement from Gaza in 2005 stirred the pot further, introducing new dynamics and challenges into the already complex situation. The ensuing years were dotted with broken ceasefires, intermittent conflicts, and a peace process that stumbled on numerous roadblocks, revealing the fragility of attempts to navigate the deeply embedded grievances and aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians. Israel and Hamas in the 21st century. As the new millennium dawned, the age-old conflict between Israel and Hamas took on fresh yet painfully familiar dimensions. The tales from the 21st century are not just of struggles over territories, but also narratives of people, real, breathing individuals whose lives have been pockmarked by moments of conflict, fear, and loss. The years 2008, 2012, and 2014 saw intense escalations in Gaza, with heartbreaking images and stories from both sides underscoring the deeply personal costs of this enduring clash. Amidst the ruins and rallies, the rocket fire, and raids, it's the everyday people, Israelis and Palestinians alike, who have borne the burdens of a conflict that seems perpetually poised on the edge of the next flare-up. From suffering civilians to destabilized regions, the consequences ripple out, crafting a narrative that has touched and torn at the international conscience. Recent developments and future prospects. In these most recent chapters of our story, we find Israel and Hamas navigating a rapidly shifting geopolitical and social landscape. The protagonists in our tale face new challenges, with changes in leadership, alliances, and global perspectives shaping the tapestry of their ongoing saga. The complexities of the conflict, layered with decades of history, cultural narratives, and diverging aspirations, cast shadows and nuances that defy simple solutions. In a world where social media and global connectivity play an ever-increasing role, the voices of the silenced are heard in new, potent ways, weaving fresh threads into the narrative and impacting international perspectives and policies. The path forward teeters between the vestiges of past grievances and the universal hope for a future where peace might be nurtured and sustained. Conclusion. Here we stand, dear listeners, on the precipice of understanding, having ventured through the tapestry of a saga rich with triumphs and tribulations, hopes and heartbreaks. The story of Israel and Hamas is not merely a narrative of conflict, but also a testament to the enduring spirit of communities and individuals, perpetually seeking identity, security, and a sense of belonging amidst the tumult. From the early echoes of the Balfour Declaration to the complex interplay of conflict and attempted reconciliation in the modern era, our exploration has woven through the myriad facets of human experience, aspiration, defiance, survival, and the perpetual quest for peace. Through all, the landscapes of Israel and Palestine have endured, bearing witness to the joys and sorrows, the gains and losses, and the complex humanity of its inhabitants. In the echoes of history, we find a mirror reflecting our collective endeavors and struggles, reminding us that the paths to peace are often marred by obstacles both tangible and intangible. The pages of future history are yet to be written, and they beckon with a silent plea for understanding, dialogue, and a resolution that honors the legacies and aspirations of all people touched by this enduring conflict. Thank you for accompanying us on this journey through the ebbs and flows of history. While we leave our exploration here, the story continues to unfold, crafting new chapters that will further shape the narratives of Israel and Hamas. May our shared insights into the past illuminate paths towards understanding, coexistence, and a peace that is both just and lasting. Until our next historical voyage, take care, and may the stories of our shared human experience guide us towards a future of mutual respect and harmony.